What's happening, Wargamers? Welcome to another episode of the Dossier, the Marvel Crisis Protocol show, where we talk about Crisis Protocol characters, their cards, what they bring to the table, and just generally how we feel about them in the game. This is not meant to be a comprehensive review show, more just to kind of get you talking and thinking about some characters that maybe you haven't thought about for a little while or hadn't considered before. There are lots of great discussions online that you can go check out. We definitely recommend you do so. And of course, we can't do this without the wonderful support of everyone over at Patreon. Patreon.com/AegisBrand Just a couple bucks a month keeps everything going, allows me to keep the content current, get more content out here, expand the channel, improve the channel, and of course, feed my dog. So thank you so much. My dog thanks you for his meal. So today we are going to be taking a look at Clea with her alter identity of Clea. And so taking a look at the model itself, and her model's fine. I mean, she's kind of got that typical sorceress pose thing going on here, where she's got like the magical energy going up. I do like the flow of the cloak a little bit. It does give her a little bit of motion to it all, which is really nice. I always really like these little touches that they put onto the model. Otherwise, I find the model itself just a little on the boring side. I kind of feel that way about a lot of the Convocation models. They don't really do a whole lot for me pose wise. I think they're very safe, very safe. I think that's really the best I can put it. They're very safe poses. They don't really take any chances with them. And in the end, they look absolutely fine on the table itself. But yeah, so that's the Clea model. I think she's, if anything, she's probably a little bit lower on my scale of models that I really like. I didn't really care for painting her. I felt very kind of uninspired. But don't let that stop you from getting creative if you like. As far as her card goes, she's got 5 stamina on both sides. She's a medium mover, size 2, 3 threat. She's got a 2-3-4 defensive stat line, which, I mean, we've seen that with a lot of the Convocation characters. Their physical defenses aren't the greatest. Where they really shine is their energy and mystic defense. So that 2 physical defense can sometimes cause some problems, but I mean, the Convocation has ways of trying to deal with it and mitigate and all that sort of stuff. So for her attacks, she has a Mystic attack, Demon Claws of Danak, range 3, 4 dice, 0 power. It is a gainer attack, so 1 power for just completing the attack, with a Wild Bleed. So about 45% chance to get that bleed off. I mean, at least it's a gainer. It's a 4 dice attack, so you're not really planning on doing a whole lot of damage with it. Maybe you get that bleed off, but at least you're getting a power on it. I think I would have liked this a little bit more if it was a range 4 attack. Range 3, just I feel like we're putting her into a danger zone with it, but it kind of it is what it is. Next up, we have another Mystic attack, Icy Tendrils of Ixalan, range 4, 6 dice for 3 power. This one has a bevy of conditions attached to it. So it's got a Wild Slow, it's got a Hit Wild Stun, and it's got a Hit Wild Crit Shield Stagger. So if you even just get the wild and hit, a slow and a stun, still very, very nice results right there. If you happen to get all 4 of them, though, you're getting the stagger, the stun, and the slow. That's a lot of conditions that a character now has to deal with. On 6 dice, that is a very steep ask. It's not going to be happening all the time, but if you happen to hit it, or if you have any sort of like dice manipulation to try and get you to that point, it can be a real game-changing thing. It will slow a character down like nobody's business. So big payoff, but I mean it's a gamble. It really is a gamble if you're going for it. So we also have an active ability, Descendant of the Faltine, for 0 power. It is an action. This character gains 3 power. Roll 5 dice. For each skull rolled, this character suffers 1 damage. It can only be used once per turn. So the important thing to note here, and we have seen this happen, Clea can daze or KO herself with this ability. We have seen Clea roll a number of skulls on some of her attacks, and it's why sometimes you'll hear the running joke when a bunch of skulls are rolled that somewhere Clea just died, because it's a great way of generating power, but it can really hurt her if the dice go against you, and it's such a good way of generating power for her. It's unfortunate that it can be so detrimental. When it easily could have been like, if any skulls are rolled, she takes a damage or something like that. Because she doesn't have a lot of stamina to begin with, so it is a real risky gambit to do this. Then we have another active ability, Oster's Mighty Hand. It is 3 power. Choose an interactive terrain feature or enemy character, size 2 or less, within 3, and throw it short. So, I mean, you can fuel a throw off the Descendant of the Faltine into Oster's Mighty Hand, which is really kind of cool and nice. Size 2, so there is limitations. I mean, there's a lot of characters in the game that are size 2, fair bit of terrain, but any of the like the really big scary threats usually tend to be size 3 or greater, so you can't really save yourself from them as a result. Then we have another active, Vapors of Dormammu. It is 3 power. Choose this character or another allied character within 3 and place it within 2 of its current position. A character can only be placed by the superpower once per turn. So this is kind of nice. It's out of sequence movement, which really kind of cool. It allows you to move an allied character around, so you can get your own team into better positions potentially. Maybe get them out of a bad position. 3 is it's appropriately costed, but with Clea having power generation issues, this is something where it's really difficult to decide if this is what you want to do with it. Because unfortunately, with the way her kit is geared, she's never going to be able to gain enough power in a single activation to do 2 of her superpowers. She's always going to be limited unless she's taken some punches or she has another way of generating power. So unfortunately, she has a kit that she wants to be spending a whole bunch of power on, and it struggles to do so. Lastly, she has immunity to incinerate. And yeah, I mean, being immune to incinerate is really kind of nice. It means that things like demons downtown, she's a very safe backline objective holder that you can kind of sit back there and know that she'll be okay taking on while the rest of the fight is elsewhere. So where does that leave Clea? Well, she is clearly a support character. A lot of her kit wants her to kind of hang back, maybe position some of her characters around. She has a throw to get some smaller characters away from her if they start to threaten her, or maybe throw some terrain at them. But I think her biggest problem is that she suffers from power generation. If if they had made her builder attack or her gainer attack a range 4 gainer, it means she can use it a lot more readily and not be in such a dangerous position to begin with. Or if they made it a 5 dice builder or something like that, if she just had a way to generate an extra little bit of power, uh, it would have been really nice to have that as an ability. As it is, the most power she can generate every round without taking damage herself potentially is 4 power, which it does sound really good, but when you look at her kit, and her kit requires 3 power across the board for any single ability, it means she's only fueling one of those abilities every round, and that can really slow her down, and it makes it difficult for her to actually truly have a good impact on the table. Now, obviously, there are ways of generating more power. There's the infinity formula. There's cube fragments. I think it's what's the other one? Cosmic invasion. I think has one where if you're on the point, you can generally get some power if you get pushed away. So there are ways of getting other power. It's just a lot of those ways are not the best for her, and still puts her in a position where she's either getting hurt, or maybe she's on an objective that she doesn't necessarily want to be on because either she can't interact with characters or they're really close to her as well. So it's really tricky. I think I don't even think she's staple to Convocation. I think it's one of those things where if she's brought in Convocation, it's probably just to make affiliation because she is a 3 threat combo player character, which is important to try and hit those points. But I mean, you can also easily do that between Strange Supreme, Wong, and just insert another Convocation character, and you're still at a pretty decent baseline. Clea just makes it a 10 core or a 10 point core, as opposed to maybe an 11 point core or something like that. So yeah, it's tricky. I unfortunately I wish Clea was a lot better in this game than she actually is. So if you've unlocked the secret sauce to her and you guys know how to use her a lot more effectively than I do, definitely sound off below. I want to hear about it, and of course just get that conversation going. So remember, if you want to support the channel, patreon.com/AegisBrandStudios, or check out iwargame.net and use code AegisBrand, save 10% on your next Wargame battle mat purchase from iWargame. And of course, we will see you next time. Thanks for watching. Happy Wargaming.